Let's see flutes in the chat because it is time for everybody's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. So let's see our guy Wavy Davy here. Where do we start in this one? We're going all over the place. So Meltzer said, what says Dave has always actively swayed his voters who to vote for, in responding to Raj Giri about Dave's like voting, because Dave always talks about his polls and his ratings, like they're objective, and his 30% like matters and all that. So Meltzer said, what just says also when you actively campaign to keep certain performers out based on your own opinion. So also Dave selects the people that his people can vote on. It's like saying the PWT end of the year awards are legit. They're not. I pick the people, you guys vote, and then if it comes down to where it's too close, then I make the final call of who gets the vote. And it's not legit, but it's a fun thing we do together. Meltzer should be able to admit that. Instead, he thinks his stars and everything's legit. We've covered this ad nauseum on the show. So Meltzer said, what says on your own opinion to try and sway their vote, either positively or negatively. Exactly. He can leave people off that he wants to be voted for or considered in the running for Wrestler of the Year. Dave can do like this. Not enough voters voted for him. Still have yet to read anyone make a good logical case for him. So again, Sting was never considered for the Observer Hall of Fame. It was one of the biggest criticisms. I think even Cornette at one point was like, well, come on, Sting could be in there. He should, maybe. I might be wrong on that, but I do think even people who aren't like big Sting guys put Sting over and were like, he should be in the Observer Hall of Fame, but Dave has his biases, blah, blah, blah. Of course, when does Sting get in the Observer Hall of Fame? When he goes to AEW, Bryan, then he's worthy. But back then, Meltzer's like, oh, there's no compelling reason to even put him in, So moving along, we see these charts here. So Snappy at Christ on a Bike 0 says, Dave got the upswing mixed up with another promotion, I guess. Right? And so here's estimated tickets distributed, which again, as Disco Inferno will point out, the TV ratings and don't really matter if the houses aren't going up and stuff. Anyways, so like we know you're lying because the Google Trends and the houses aren't up, but you're saying magically 500,000 people are watching this show. Like, why isn't that show up in the attendances? Yeah, we have Collision, Dynamite, WWE, SmackDown house shows, blah, blah, blah. And you guys can just see SmackDown and Raw are the red and blue, obviously. And look at the trends for AEW. The other way, Dave Meltzer says, the last pay-per-view just did the biggest number in 17 months. I don't believe that. I think Dave is adding fake 30%. As we've chronicled here, he's done it before. We caught him doing it. Then he writes a report. Sources say the pay-per-view's up because Amazon, even though he's the source. He's the guy who perpetrated that and put it out there. So he's not credible whatsoever. Okay. But he says, same show just nearly tripled the all-time record US gate and beat all-time attendances record gate as well. Total audience is up greatly in US, UK, and Canada. So no, got the term correct. I don't know. He's always just spurging out and trying to scramble to defend AEW. Here's Bryan and Dave. And here's Heel Uzi posted a clip of them. And let's just check out. He's just hating. He doesn't even give context to what the clip says. So let's just put a Bryan. Let's just throw a Bryan in the chat. And let's listen to this clip and make fun of it.
And then I swear to God this happened. I could not believe my eyes. They've been plugging this WWE Unreal. A behind-the-scenes look. God. We're going to reveal what really happened. We're going to take you behind the scenes.
So just like AEW All Access?
And then they do a commercial, and it's a total work.
Okay, it's the wrestling. It's a work. Yeah, it's the good. Hey, it's a complete work? Good. That's what it should be. It was just a work, could you believe, Bryan? Unlike AEW, where they did All Access and they didn't even mention CM Punk and completely invented this whole thing with Death Triangle and just talked about how the belts had to be vacated, but didn't really even address why, Bryan. So we won't even say anything like that. It would never, ever say anything like that, but he's just trying to clown this Unreal show because Dave thinks reality shows are real.
The footage they show to sell you on WWE Unreal.
You're telling us
Triple H at the Royal Rumble telling I Show Speed that he's in the Rumble, and I Show Speed.
Hey, dumb. They're trying to sell ads to kids. So I know you dumb fucks don't understand streaming and the streaming game and all that, but the most people who watch Netflix the most they're just marketing to kids and shit, bro. That's what it is. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you need to. This show isn't for you. You guys think you're uptight and already have sources and know everything and know the ins and outs.
Like he didn't know he was going to be in it. And I was like, you know what? I was looking forward to that show. I have never seen a less effective commercial. When this commercial was over, I was like, I ain't watching this show. You're trying to tell me that this is a real life behind the scenes look at booking, and that's the clip that you use?
It's
God.
I looked at that. I was flabbergasted at that. It was just like, this is the antithesis of exactly what you've been promoting this thing to be. You're doing this storyline thing of
oh my God. Dave and Bryan are so fucking dumb. Like, I can barely stand it anymore, dude. I'm about to unleash wrath on these fucking morons. And we just started the segment. Listen, what they make you think, what you guys are worked, like you're worked into the work. Dave and them think that WWE's like, we're pulling the curtain back and we use the term heel and all this shit now. And Vince would have never done that. And so we're just being like, hey, it's all fake and fuck it, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, that's the work. So they're going to just work people to be invested in this crazy reality show and think that booking the WWE is so chaotic and crazy, blah, blah, blah. It's disorganized and last minute and da-da-da, when in real reality, because it's a fucking reality show, which isn't reality, and everyone knows that except for you, because you have a fucking middle schooler's brain. It's just a work, Dave. Like, it's just a fake fucking show like WWE LFG is, and it's just giving the illusion to dumb fucks like you and to other people, wow, this is chaotic and crazy, who aren't smart marks, and then you blur the lines again. This is effectively blurring the lines again. And especially for the layman, for the common person who might turn on this reality show looking for drama and hot goss, and then they're like, holy shit, it's crazy and chaotic. I need to watch these shows to see how it plays out so perfectly. It's incredible. It plays out so perfectly. It's for the normies and shit, Dave. It's not for your smart mark dumbass. That's the fucking problem here. And these guys don't understand, like, what even wrestling is at this point anymore. They've gone so nuts, like trying to bury WWE, that they don't even understand like what's going on here. They're effectively blurring the lines again. And instead of you being like, that's clever, I love that they're sort of bringing like kayfabe back, and you're just like finding a way to shit on it because you can't think objectively, Dave. You're a shark-brained monster moron, dead behind the fucking eyes, and all you can do is just project this fucking nonsense onto everyone, blow Tony Khan for putting what your idea of pro wrestling is supposed to be, when really your idea exposes the business. And this is supposed to be cheesy and fake because it's not for you, okay? And it is for you if you weren't such a goddamn mark for yourself, right? Like, I can watch it and separate the two and go, this is fun, okay? And if I'm not, then I turn it off. It's like LFG. I've watched the first 3 episodes. I keep shutting it off. I don't really give a fuck this season anymore. I got to be honest. I might crush it out in a sitting when I'm like, there's nothing else to watch. I'm watching Building the Band right now. I got to watch those. But yeah, Meltzer just doesn't get it.
And yeah, I just was like, is this
ridiculous?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like one of those WWE documentaries. Like, remember the one with when they were going to give you the true story of what happened at the WrestleMania, the build for the WrestleMania with Cody and everything. And I watch it, and I know every.
Oh, he's so stupid. That documentary was the fucking test run. That was the proof of concept. That was the pilot episode, if you will, for Unreal, for Netflix and for them to pitch it to Netflix and go, hey, we saw massive success with this. People loved it. It was like a work shoot. Would you guys be interested in this show? Yep. Fucking greenlight it. Let's go. Let's film the season. Of course, if you studied the TV business, or just like we're a fan of television, like so many of us are, Dave, and fans of, you'd understand this. If you just fucking like spent time on YouTube and understood how these things work.
Everything that happened, believe me, leading up to that WrestleMania, the twists and the turns and the Dwayne signing and the Triple H having Cody win the Rumble, and you know, all the little games that were being played. And I watched that thing, and it was so fake, like so fake. It was like, I thought that they would, I knew they wouldn't get into the, you know, the details, because
so did everyone, man. What's the point? What's the point?
You know, because, you know, it's supposed to be everyone's cohesive and there's no arguments and we're just all smart and we all work together. And
no, it's not supposed to be that. It's not supposed to be that. No business works that way. Butterfly and rainbow. If you think that's reality, you're a fucking moron and you don't study business and you fear facts and Wagyu beef.
The fans booed our thing, so we smiled and we just said, well, the fans know best and we'll, you know, do that. So, but it's like, I thought that they would at least tease like the surface stuff, and they didn't even do that.
Who cares? Who gives a fuck? You just want, this is why, because you don't have sources. So this is why Dave is like, oh, I really wish they fucking showed me all the backstage stuff, because you don't really have sources or know what goes on back there. And you are a fucking Uber mark and want to see the curtain peeled back so you can really see what it's like, because you don't know. And that's your dream fantasy, and that you like to pretend you know about all this stuff and you know the inner workings. It's like you're there at every fucking Raw. You know how it all works. But realistically, what you're doing is you're pulling back the curtain on your own brain, and there's a monkey crash and a symbol there yelling, I want to see the actual backstage stuff because I'm a fucking stooge. And that's why you care about that. And everyone else is like, yeah, it's just a work show. You think they're going to tell you?
No, so, you know, you expect like
he just exposed himself.
A WWE behind the scenes to be anything but a work.
No, why? Why would you expect? You expect it to be anything but a work, but that's why I brought up the DVDs before, or the documentaries where they would work everyone. So I expect this thing, not everything, to be a work or whatever the fuck, even though I just brought up an example of how everything's a work with them. Fucking stupid dumbass.
You know, I mean, I heard, you know, some of the old timers are just like, this is horrible.
No, none of the old timers gave a fuck. You didn't talk to any old timers.
It's going to kill the business. It's like, you know, even if they did it as a total, you know, like had the meetings and everything, and killing the business, you know, but this isn't going to be that, you know, I mean, they're going to go in there, and I don't think you're going to be seeing any arguments. I don't think you'll be seeing anyone bury any talent.
We're not going to see any arguments. So they manufactured a fake, hey, you're going to go out there and it's going to be a last minute crazy. You're going out there. Isn't that crazy? And then you get speared and hurt. They're not going to manufacture arguments. They're not going to manufacture. That wasn't a manufactured moment to show everything isn't all smooth sailing. That last minute they had to go, you get out there, pal. And then he did it and got speared to oblivion. Dave, so which is it? You're talking out of both sides of your ass right now.
Talent, or
you're a fucking liar. Like, Dave, this is just, I mean, come on, man. This is fucking fodder. Dumb fuck fodder right here.
Like, it really happens in those meetings, and anyway, we'll see what it is. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. You know, it's an interesting thing, but yeah.
So why are you gonna watch it then? So you can just watch a fake reality show and cry about how it's not? Why? Because you actually don't know the inner workings, and that's like something you're super curious in, Dave. Curious about
to promote the show and show that clip,
because they're trying to get younger people to watch it. You dinosaur.
To me, was just like, man, there's nothing I would least like to see than 5 episodes of that.
Why would it be 5 episodes of that? It's one clip from the entire fucking show. Stupid
bullshit being purported to be real.
Oh, hey, fucking Superman's coming out. He fights a kaiju. Oh, man, the whole movie he's just fighting a kaiju. Why would I go see it? It's not like there's 2 hours of other shit in the fucking movie. Like, what an idiot, dude. God. So, Kayfabe Beef Soup says, okay, scratch these last 2 weeks. Look at their Go Home Dynamite before their biggest pay-per-view of the year. All in. Episode had 2,500 people. Dave says, this year is up across the board from the end of last year. And this is the thing. Dave, he goes Q4 and Q3. Well, Q1 and Q2 are up from Q4, Q3 of last year. Who cares? Compare it year over year. It's way fucking down. You dummies selectively pick these fucking numbers that are stupid. You can watch one of the greatest matches of all time, according to Dave Meltzer, Bandido versus Takeshita from Supercard of Honor. This match will surely be talked about for generations to come and be forever etched in time. Okay, 10 days ago, 4.6K views. And here's Dave. Bandido. So he's talking about in this 29-minute match. I watched it. It was a fun match, but it's nowhere the way Dave blows it. It was just another fucking match on the card. There was a bunch of crazy shit that went down on that card, and that was probably the best match of the night, but it's just the same shit that happens all the time. So Bandido came out with an Aztec warrior headdress like Mil Mascaras wore in his Los Angeles heyday. It was great from start to finish, built well, and the last few minutes were unreal. This was basically the ultimate in the modern style, with everything fans who like that style love and everything people who hate that style complain about. This audience was going crazy. No, Dave's they were hotter. They were kind of burnt out by the end. They were like lit up for this match again, but it was the last match, so people kind of applaud and like get on their feet, but I don't think they were as hot as like the peak of the show, because there was so much, dude, on that show. Blocked the 21 plex and tore up the mask. Rocky Romero gave Takeshita a chair, but he missed the chair shot. Bandido did a tope into the chair and was bleeding. Takeshita gave him a tombstone on the ramp. Takeshita was biting. Bandido did a running fly flip, dive over the post, a poison rana, and tope con giro, followed by a frog splash for a near fall, Bryan. So all the shit he explained right there was in the one of the best matches of all time. The ultimate. Bandido tried the 21 plex again. Takeshita landed on his feet and did a Chaos Theory suplex, and Bandido landed on his feet, did a super kick and GTS. Bandido was on the top rope and held Takeshita in a body slam position and then moonsaulted him into the ring, which is even more impressive given Takeshita's size. And then the way Dave is explaining the move, it's like he's explaining it for the first time. Dave, he does a fall-away moonsault splash every fucking match. Bro, we know what Bandido does. He's explaining it to his readers like it's the first time he's ever done this maneuver. And this is what his friends explain too. Meltzer's friends are like, dude, you watch these matches and it's the same match every time. And he's yelling and popping and laughing at these fucking spots. It's something to be fucking pumped about, like a kid with keys being dangled in front of him, you know? Bandido did a shooting star press. Takeshita got his knees up and cradled him. Bandido did a super Frankensteiner that Takeshita reversed into a cradle for a near fall. Bandido did the X knee. Takeshita blocked another 21 plex, and Takeshita did a front tombstone and wheelbarrow German. Takeshita did a running knee that Bandido kicked out at 1 and then went for Raging Fire, which Bandido turned into a cradle for the pin. 5 3/4 stars, Bryan. Bro, what the fuck? Like, this is the type of shit that, like, this motherfucker thinks that is, like, good wrestling, you know? Even just the description of it. Like, how does anyone understand that? Whereas, okay, think about a WWE match. Like, bro, he went to dump the fucking tax. He dumps the beads out. And then dude's like, oh, shit. And then he went for the Claymore. And then it got reversed into the GTS, and then it was a 1, 2, 3. Then he went on top of the cage, and then the fucking, you talk about it like it's a movie. The choreographer explaining to Jet Li each move he's doing during his next fight scene or whatever, dude. So Dave Meltzer had this to say. This guy said, his name's All Wrestling All Day, said, Dave, I don't care how much you're being paid. You know AEW isn't doing well, and your continued support of failure is making your opinion less and less. I used to subscribe, not that you'll even care. Meltzer says a wrestling company valued at $2 billion. Now, AEW's not valued at $2 billion, bro. And he keeps pushing this fucking narrative out there. And there's a reason for it. And Dave says, and third largest combat sports company in the world. It's not a combat sport. TNT, I guess they consider it a sport, but like it's not claimed as a sport really by HBO Max. So anyways, with major profit margins guaranteed based on just US rights is the farthest thing from a failure. Sorry for your not reading the issues you subscribed for, because I've discussed business heavily and you didn't even pick up on something as basic as that. Fucking Dave, man. Like, what is he even saying? LoPiccolo says, I agree. A company like the one you described shouldn't have any trouble finding investors. Good thing I haven't heard any such rumors. A company this profitable would never need them. That would be silly. And so there's rumors floating around, chat, that TNA, but AEW is looking for investors right now, and that's why Dave keeps floating out this $2 billion valuation, and Tony Khan's in front of his rich guy things. And LoPiccolo's like, well, if they're making as much money as you claim, they shouldn't be looking for investors, right? So if news comes out that Tony Khan's looking for investors, then Dave, you look like a goddamn moron, huh? So all I'm saying is stay locked into PWT, folks. Jay Ginsburg says they aren't worth $2 billion. Give me a break. Meltzer says denial isn't just a river in Egypt. Cute bumper sticker, dog. Nick LoPiccolo says it should be the name of your newsletter, Denial. Oh, shit. Shots fired. And shout out Nick LoPiccolo for sharing a shitload of PWT clips. So moving along here, Zaslav. When Zaslav said that sports weren't a big driver on Max, what sports air on Max under the sports section? So this is the funniest thing, too, is that JC Novak says Zaslav didn't say that or something similar in the investor call after the split announcement. And then Meltzer said people sure fantasized he did, but AEW nor NBA were either mentioned, hinted at, or referenced. Yeah, but Dave, so it's what Switchblade said. When Zaslav said that sports weren't a big driver, and we know objectively we can look at the fucking stuff they've posted about the NBA, that is probably their top sports thing being viewed. Maybe soccer outdraws it. I don't fucking know. But NBA, we can positively say that they flex their NBA numbers from Max and their simulcast numbers and all that. And when Zaslav said sports aren't a big driver, does NBA not fall under that category? Dave is so redacted. He's like, well, they didn't say basketball specifically. He doesn't need to, you dumb fuck. Jesus Christ, man. It's so annoying how he just does this selective shit and how people eat that shit up and believe in it. So Meltzer had this to say about Cora Jade and her OF endeavors and quitting wrestling for the foreseeable future.
Cora Jade has announced that she is taking at least the rest of the year off, canceling all bookings, and just trying to find herself, she said, and see if she can find a way to love pro wrestling like she used to. So all the best to her.
I know she was talking to somebody who I know, and you know that she is probably made more money last month than any woman pro wrestler in the world.
Yeah, because she just launched her OF guy. Dave, did you know that yes, Dave, everyone understands how this fucking works. If you have a Twitter account, you've seen those, what's one of those, Digzerdo or one of these fucking accounts that tells you like, this chick made whatever the fuck. Yes, she just launched it last month. Dave, we fucking know he's going to start trying to talk like he understands the business of OF now. I'm a pimp, Bryan. I keep my pimp hand strong.
And probably by a lot because
really?
of OnlyFans. Yeah. Yeah. It's basically like, think about this. You want to do these indie dates for $1,000 when you're making the kind of money that she's making. Mandy Rose set the template. And, if you've got the right look and, you can do OnlyFans coming off of a WWE run, and not everyone can do it, obviously, but some can. I mean, Mandy Rose is incredibly rich. When you first come out, that's when you're going to make all the money at first. You know what I mean? And then after a while, the novelty's gone. But
the novelty's talking like he just casually subscribes to their OFs. The novelty's gone.
Right now for her, I mean, she's just making incredible amount of money. I mean, it's ridiculous. So good for her.
So speaking of which, Eric Bischoff gets shitted on by Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer sort of buries Eric Bischoff here a couple times in the Real American Freestyle Wrestling or whatever. And Meltzer is like, Bischoff just says stuff for engagement. Meanwhile, Dave just says stuff for engagement. And also, meanwhile, Tony Khan, his fucking son, was on this thing talking about, I'm doing this for more engagement. So, like, shut the fuck up, Dave. That's what the internet is. Everyone doing shit and engaging with stuff and doing stuff for engagement and engaging with each other. Holy fuck, you old boomer, dumb motherfuckers, dude. It's driving me insane.
He was on with Ariel.
This might be it. This might be the one where I snap.
Helwani said that 1 year from now, and he did qualify this by saying, if TNA gets a better television.
No. We just watched the clip. Dave, you didn't watch the clip. You're reading quotes or you're misquoting. And this is the infamous Dave Meltzer spin. And now you're little gaggle of fucking redacts are going to go repeat this shit. And this is how you galvanize people to make the IWC an incredibly toxic and shitty place. And you spread misinformation, Dave. He didn't say a better TV deal. And then Bryan interrupts him and is like, a better one than AEW or whatever. And then Meltzer's like, yeah, I mean, and then he just starts going off on that when that's not what he said. He said the TV deal will be a big factor in whether or not, whatever the TV deal is. We just watched the clip earlier in TNA news. Okay. It's a big factor or indicator in if whether or not they will be a serious contender and player, which Dave is dismissive of this because he has to be, because he's actually on phone calls with Tony Khan, right? And texting Tony Khan and influencing booking and talking about he's pushing for this and that. And at the same time, and we're going to cover a bit of that in a moment, and at the same time, he hates Bischoff. And at the same time, he knows, Dave in the back of his little mind knows that TNA could realistically get 300,000 people watching them every fucking week if they get on the right network and are fucking promoted correctly, which WWE is helping them achieve. So
just by saying, if TNA gets a better television deal,
that's a lie.
They will be ahead of AEW 1 year from today. He's just saying stuff now at this point, just for engagement. Ariel sort of challenged him on something because, well, I guess the last time he was on the show, he said AEW is dead. There's no way to turn it around. They're dead. And then Ariel Helwani did say, like, well, they have turned it around. And he just goes, well,
no, you're lying. Ariel did not say, well, they've turned it around. See, Dave, you can't lie to me, motherfucker, because I'm watching all the stuff. You're not actually consuming all the shit. That's why I'm 10 steps ahead of all of you motherfuckers. Okay? Because I see and I consume it all. No, he didn't say, well, it is turned around. No, he just said, well, the perception is, what they're saying is that it's turned around. They're doing this and that. So you could perceive that as it being turned around. He didn't push back and go, well, it is turning around. No, he didn't do that.
I never watch. So it's just like, okay, so you're talking about this thing that you never
Dave, watch. That's what you're literally doing. You talk about Raw that you never watch. This is why this triggers you, because you project. You're talking about fucking this Ariel interview twice now. You misquoted it and proved that you don't watch.
Okay. So, and then Ariel did bring up that AW is now, Dynamite has had more episodes than Nitro ever had. And he was like, well, we had.
No, it wasn't like, well, we had. No, it wasn't like that. Ariel presented it as, what do you make of people saying, and we covered this on the Monday member show, 99 cents. He said, what do you make of people saying, or like like we did more episodes than Nitro, like that's a thing to be touted. Like, what do you make of that being a thing? That's it wasn't like this, well, that's you, Dave.
Any more viewers, and it's like, yeah, but you went out of business.
They did have more viewers. Yeah, they went out of business because they didn't get a fucking TV deal. Not because the business was fucking failing. Because when the companies merged, they didn't want anything to do with wrestling. Dave, accept that. Accept that reality.
The key to running a business.
Dave is going to tell the guy who fucking made millions and made Hulk Hogan millions and all these wrestler millions, the key to running a business, because he's on the phone with Tony Khan, who could literally take $1 million in $1 bills, wipe his ass with them for the next 10 fucking years, and laugh about it. And Dave Meltzer thinks that guy knows anything about business, or he knows anything about business, when he's doing 50% off the fucking observers and his shit's trending downward.
In the long run is not how much you peak and go out of business, but staying in business is far superior to having a peak.
Oh, so then you admit that TNA is already the number one. So we just owned Dave Meltzer, ladies and gentlemen. We just owned him. So staying in business longer is far superior to peaking higher and then crashing and burning.
Stupid idiot.
So you just admit that TNA is already the number two. It has nothing to do with them becoming the number two. They already are the number two, is what you just admitted by your own logic, Meltzer.
Learn, baby, learn. Meltzer Inferno.
What a fucking dumb, stupid idiot, man. Chat, we just caught him. Like, come on.
Stupid idiot.
So it's far superior. So TNA is number 2 already. And so when you're making fun of they can't become number 2, like I love how in the same clip, Dave contradicts himself and we can just point it out a minute apart from each other. Like, what a dumb fuck, man. Holy shit.
You know, very high, not making much money doing that peak, but having a legit peak and then being out of business 2 years later.
Can you believe that that's what the fuck Dave Meltzer just said? Like, that's incredibly insane on so many fucking levels. He's just coping, man. It's hilarious how he just busted him there.